Since we're here in our Drupal sites folder, we can go ahead and open up the 8th step, which is called unmanaged delete all files. And go ahead and copy the entire code and paste it over the code that's currently in your assets.module file and save it. Okay, so our approach is going to be to piggyback on our previous example and actually use the same function that we used to delete a single file and add a clause for if we're wanting to delete the entire folder. And then we're going to add a link to our page, to our thumbnails page, that says delete all. Let's go ahead and scroll up to our page function and show how we're changing the output here. So here, we're beginning with a blank output, and we're just starting by adding a paragraph and a link to delete all files and directories. And we're pointing to our assets unmanaged delete page, which we created before, but we're passing an additional parameter that's called all. And this will trigger our delete function to recursively delete all the files. The second part is changing our delete callback, so I'm going to scroll down to that. We start off by checking the 4th argument to see if it's all, and we do that by passing the argument -1 because arg0 is actually the first argument. And we check it against all. And we're going to run a single function called file unmanaged delete recursive, and we're going to pass it the name of our directory. This will delete this folder as well as any folders or files under it or inside of it. Right now we have just a single tier structure where we have just a number of files inside of this directory, so we'll just delete those. And then we're setting a message to say that all the files have been deleted, and then using that Drupal goTo function to return to the thumbnails page. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this function call and see what's going on in it. So I jumped to it by using Control-click in my environment here. And here's the function, file unmanaged delete recursive. It just takes a single parameter path. The first step is converting the URI to an actual file path, and it does that using the function that we saw earlier called Drupal real path. It checks if it's a directory because this could be a file that we're pointing to and we just need to delete the file. If it is a directory, then we need to loop through and see if there's any more directories or if there's any files in that directory to delete. Then it loops through every item inside of that directory. And if it's not a dot or a dot dot, which are special items inside of a folder, it keeps going. And then it will run the same function here, file unmanaged delete recursive, if it's a directory. Closes the directory, and then it finally removes the directory that we pointed to. If it was just a file we were pointing to, then we're going to run file unmanaged delete, which will just delete that file. Okay, let's go ahead and make sure that our assets.module file is saved and jump back to the browser. We don't need to clear our cache this time, but what we do need is a number of images so that we can demonstrate what happens when we delete them all. So I'm going through our form and uploading a few random images so we can make sure that we're deleting them all. Okay, I'm going to go to the thumbnails page, which again is at assets/unmanaged/view. And we have our 3 images here, and we have our new link right here to delete all files and directories. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And we see now our page is blank, and we get our nice little alert message that says that all of the files have been deleted. Let's jump back to our folder, our files folder, and make sure that this folder is actually gone. Now if we look in default files, assets, we see this folder is expanded, but there's nothing in it. So our unmanaged folder was completely removed in this process, which is exactly what we were going for.